Hey y'all, Happy New Year. It's Lindsay. While I talk here, I'm gonna sit here and download what's left over of my files from Eddie's attic. Um, so, I debated on making this video for a couple weeks, but it's actually not gonna be the video that I intended on making in the first place. I had finally decided not to do this sort of thing. But then what happened on New Year's Eve happened on New Year's Eve. And then not only that, but I watched Tana Mongeau's video on her past year and her relationship with Jake Paul and her relationships with her other exes. And it made me want to come on here and talk about this. Now, first off, you see the title, at least if I keep it the way I think it is, it says I'm afraid I'll never find love. We'll get to that, but that's not me asking for pity. That's just me being honest, and I'm going to talk more about that. But first off, my mom would not approve of me making this video, and there are some other people that would not approve of me making this video because they would say that it's too personal, it's too much information, and that I shouldn't talk about my problems online. But part of me wants to vent to y'all, and part of me had this wonderful conversation with this lady tonight. Her husband plays at my open mic nights every now and again up at Chevelle's, and they came tonight, and I sat down and talked to her about life and about anxiety problems and about depression and about relationships and just how crazy life is. And it really helped me, and it also helped me to be strong. But also, like I said, I watched Tana Mongeau's video. Now let me give you a little backstory on that. First off, I used to absolutely hate Tana Mongeau's videos. I just thought that she was the type of trashy that I don't like to watch. But I finally, after I saw her on Shane Dawson's series, and backstory on Shane Dawson, I have loved Shane Dawson ever since he started YouTube, ever since I came across his videos like 10, 11, 12 years ago. And he helped me through so many hard times with his humor, which I know his humor used to be quite inappropriate, but we've all grown up with the times. And he's matured so much, and I love to see him find happiness and love with Ryland and Ryland's sister, and how they've all just kind of grown and evolved together, and it really helps me to grow and evolve with them. But when he had Tana on there, it kind of made me start to watch her content a little bit more. And I've noticed that she's starting to be a little more real and talk about things, not just to be exaggerating, but to talk about things that are real, and talk about her mistakes and be honest with everybody about what she's done wrong. And I'm starting to get to where I kind of like watching her content. Now, did I think that her and Jake Paul should have gotten together? No, but it started to grow on me for a little bit because I was like, is this actually for clout, or do they actually love each other? And then she goes on, of course, to explain, I'm not a drama channel, so I wish I was. I love watching drama channels, but I just can't keep up with all the mess. I go to drama channels to figure out the drama. But she talked about how she ended up falling in love with him, even though it started out just to be like clout. So basically, even though I know that my mom would not approve of this video and that some of y'all don't give a crap, here's what I'm going to say. If you don't give two craps about my personal shit, just exit off of this video. Don't leave your nasty comments in the comment section below. I don't want to hear any of your bull crap about how I'm not allowed to talk about personal stuff on here, because one reason I'm doing this is to vent, and the other reason is to kind of get over my embarrassment of my stupidity, and then also to discuss with y'all things, because back when I was in college, I went through group therapy, and it really helped me a lot to start a conversation about mental health and about how the week is gone and about things that have made you feel a certain way about yourself. So first off, I'd like to say happy 2020. I hope your New Year started off better than mine. I learned so much in 2019 about myself. I got back on an anxiety medication that has done wonders for me. It helped me to eat again and to gain weight back. I'm on Paxil, which is not it's not like a narcotic. It's not one of those addictive type pills that you can take. I have tried stuff like Klonopin and Xanax and stuff, and that can work wonders for other people. But for me, it mainly just makes me want to sleep or sound like I'm drugged or something. But the Paxil honestly has given me a lot of energy and stuff. So what I want to talk about is it came back into my mind on New Year's Eve. I got invited to a couple different parties, and we'll get to both in a second. But I had a show in Canton until like 9:30, and then I got invited to go up to a bar with with my friend and her boyfriend. And I knew that one of my exes was going to be playing in the band up there. And I didn't date this guy very long, but we were kind of like having this mad affair for about a month. And we ended up hating each other's guts at the end of it. And I hate knowing that I have to not go where he's at, because this is a small area. We pretty much all know each other around here. And I'm talking about here, like in Georgia, North Carolina, Tennessee, this whole little area up here. We know each other, especially when you're in the music industry up here. As I'm not in Nashville right now, as I'm recording this, I'm going to be next week. But I knew that he was going to be there. But one thing that really sucks, that kind of bothers me, is that I didn't know until I got there, and my friends didn't tell me that my other ex was there too. So I walk into this party when I should have just turned around and walked away, thinking that I'm on anxiety medication now, I can handle myself in this situation. I walked in and saw both of them with their new girlfriends, and it got me in that panic mode again, and I really thought that I could handle it, but I didn't handle it very well. I was venting to everybody about it, and I was hiding from them as if they care, or as if I should care anymore. I've been single for a year now, but it really did put me back in a bad place, and then I felt really embarrassed that I went. I ended up at my friend's house where her boyfriend got mad that I was on the phone with my mom, and it was loud, and I shouldn't have been so loud, but I was drunk, and that's what happens when you drink. And he yelled at me, and of course then mom got mad, and she ended up getting mad at him and everything, but that's beside the point. Let's just say my night ended up pretty disastrous, and the next day I felt really bad about everything. I just felt like I wanted to hide from the world, and just didn't want anybody to see me for the next couple days. It was really hard going back up to that bar and hosting open mic night tonight, knowing that I showed up there and had to see both of them. But the main reason I'm making this video, and I'm gonna make this quick, is because I want to talk about these two guys and why I'm afraid I'll never be able to find love again, because I am scarred, and part of it's my fault for still letting it linger in my head about what these people thought about me. But what can you do? Everybody's brain is made up a different way, and my brain has always been the kind to hang up on things. And when people bullied me in school, I remembered those things, and they would always get to me and make me very insecure. And when I would like a guy, I could never get over him, and it would hurt me so bad. And even if I knew that they didn't like me back, like, I just felt so bad that I couldn't seem to deal with the fact that we had to go to school together every day, and we had to see each other every day. And yeah, he doesn't like me, but I like him. And I would just have a panic attack every day before I have to run into them in class or run into them at recess or whatever. It's always been this way. I've always had attachment problems. When I was a kid, if I had a toy that I broke or something, I would just be so sad. Like, I wouldn't want a new one. I want that one. I wanted that one fixed. I had an attachment to that. I've always had attachment issues. And I don't know if it's like a form of OCD or what it is, but the medication's helped a lot with that. It really has. It kind of helps clear my ruminating thoughts a lot, because I have a lot of ruminating thoughts, and I overthink things, and I always end up thinking that everything's my fault. And that's what I've felt the last little bit here. Okay, so let's get into this conversation. So I have been asked out by several people this year, and I feel really bad to turn them down, but I'm not in any place right now to want to be with somebody. I am in a place right now of self-discovery and trying to figure out who I am, where I need to be in my life, and trying to figure out how to love myself again. And I've done quite a bit this past year, but coming back from what I've been through the last few years has been very difficult. So we're gonna call these two guys K and G, okay? We're not gonna say their names, we're gonna call them K and G, okay? G was my best friend. We met in 2015. I honestly thought that he looked kind of trashy, and that is horrible for me to say, but he was very scruffy, and you could tell he didn't take care of his hair very well. I didn't really have a thing for him, but we started to talk online once he turned 18. He was 17 at the time, and I was 21, and his mom really wanted us to be together. And my mom really wanted us to be together. And so we started hanging out, and I think that mom hated to see me suffer over the last boyfriend I had in like 2011. And so I went through 4 years of being single. I went on a few dates and nothing ever really ended up working out. I'm very to myself, and I've always been very naive, and I've always been very immature when it comes to, you know, sexuality and dating and being social and all that stuff. So it was always really weird for me to date. And dang, Molly's running around up there like a crazy dog. She is a crazy dog. But basically, me and G, I don't know if we actually ended up falling in love or if it was just something that was forced because both of our mothers wanted us to be together so bad. I don't know what it was, but we ended up dating about a year and a half after we met. He was 19 and I was, 24? 24? Yeah, wait, 23? I can't even remember anymore. Shoot, that was 2016. Yeah, I was 23. So we started dating, and it was very awkward from the very beginning. It was like he texted me. I went up to Nashville a couple days after we started dating, and he texted me and he said, I'm afraid that, like, I want to be with you, but I'm afraid that if we that we've like started this thing too soon, and that, you know, it's not going to work out, and that we shouldn't jump the gun, and we shouldn't be in this relationship this fast. And it broke my heart. So from the very beginning, we were already arguing over what was right and what was wrong, and we were overthinking every single thing. And it got to a point where it was just drama every couple of weeks. It was like something else was wrong. Like he would spend too much money on his car, and I would tell him he shouldn't have done that because now, like, you know, I was mad because the guy who redid his car charged him $30,000 to redo his car, but things were still falling apart on the car. And I was like, aren't you gonna go get that fixed? Like, it just upset me that he would let somebody take advantage of him like that. And it was more of me feeling hurt for him, but it pissed him off because he thought that I was trying to, I guess, insult him and his decisions. And I really just, we had so much in common when we were friends, and we had so much fun together. And then all of a sudden, all the fun that we had was starting to deplete. It was going away. It was like we just argued and we would try to go out and have fun, but all that ever ended up happening was us getting aggravated at each other, because it would either be I'm arguing with my mom, or he's arguing with his mom, or our moms are arguing, or me and him are arguing or something. And it just seemed like nothing ever wanted to work out between the two of us. And we broke up many times. But the icing on the cake, I guess, was when he told me that he wanted to go northwest. He like wanted to go out west, out to like Washington and Montana and Yellowstone, and he did eventually, but it's not while we were together. So when he was going to go, he told me that we couldn't call ourselves boyfriend and girlfriend because he didn't want to hurt me. And I didn't understand that because he still wanted to date me. He still wanted to take me out. He still wanted to talk to me every day. He still wanted to invite me over. He wanted to, hook up. He wanted me with him, but he didn't want to call me his girlfriend. And I started to feel really, really dirty about the situation because I was like, why does he want to use me for love, like for, romance, but he doesn't want to call himself my boyfriend, and why would he do this to me if he's going to leave me anyway? So it really, honestly, it was starting to break my heart, and I cried and I cried and I cried, and it made Mom madder and madder and madder. He wasn't allowed to come over to my house. He wasn't allowed to be around me, and if I went and hung out with him, Mom would get mad, and it was just like a lot of crap, and it was really deteriorating my mental health that I worked so hard in college to build back up. And I worked so hard to build my confidence back up after I'd had a boss that had bullied me and sexually harassed me and made me feel like a piece of scum. And it really took me years to get back from that. And here I am, it just deteriorating again. I'm losing weight. I'm going from being, a normal, like 100 and something pound chick to getting down, starting to lose a pound a month or something, until I eventually got down to like 82 pounds. We'll get there. So this guy, finally, it was a lot of drama for a long time, and it really hurt me. And so he told me to date other people, but he still wanted to date me. And so I go and I meet Kay, and Kay and I talk for a couple months while he's still dating his other girlfriend. And Kay comes around back in January of 2018, and he wants to take me out. And so I officially tell G that we can't be together anymore, because if he can't make up his mind about where he's going to be in his life, and if he can't wash his underwear, like, he literally told me one day that he couldn't go on a date with me because his underwear weren't clean, and that he wasn't allowed to wash them at the house he was staying at. After he moved out of his house, he was staying with his friend's mom. And I was just like, this is ridiculous. This is like middle school drama, and I hate this, and I want to be with somebody who's mature. And so I ended up going on a date with Kay, and we had an instant connection. I really thought that, wow, this is something special. This is magical. This is something that really, really, really could be amazing. And within 2 weeks, we were going way too fast. We said I love you to each other way too fast. We were getting intimate way too fast. And then out of the blue one day, Valentine's Day rolls around. We have a really good date. And then after that, he starts talking about his ex-girlfriend, and then it makes me wonder about G, and I start talking to G again, and then we're both talking to our exes. And then that next Monday rolls around, and Kay leaves my house, and he texts me, and he tells me that I'm not allowed to, if I want to be with him, I can't be confident in my achievements. Throughout these few weeks, he would slip in little red flags like that I didn't understand until it all imploded that one day, that he didn't want me to succeed in life. He told me that music wouldn't make enough of a living, and that if I wanted to have achievements and trophies in my basement, that it made me full of myself, that and that just, to me, was a deal breaker. And I had a panic attack because I'd held in all these emotions for so long, loving this guy way too soon, thinking that he was the one, wanting to be this perfect person for him that he's looked for his entire life, and him wanting him to be this perfect person that I had looked for my entire life. I let it break me. I let it completely break me. I was so heartbroken. I loved him so much, and I shouldn't have, because I did not know him. That was so stupid of me. It's stupid on my part that I ever felt that way. But I did. I loved this guy, and I searched for answers for months, and I finally came up with, at least I think, that he's a narcissist, and he's slightly abusive to the women he's with. I ended up eventually talking to his ex-girlfriend because I wanted to know how he treated her, because he likes to say that she's a crazy person, and he liked to say that I was a crazy person. He also said that I was mentally unstable, sexually unstable, physically unstable, just emotional wreck. I'm like, yeah, I have a panic disorder, but look at yourself in the mirror because you're not perfect either, okay? Nobody's perfect, and that's really rude of you. So I ended up talking to his ex early 2019, yeah, early 2019, and she told me how abusive he was to her, and it really kind of opened my eyes up a little bit. And it's stupid that I ever thought about him again. But then I went back to G. I went back to G for half of 2018, and toward the end of 2018, he got to a point where he would go like a week without taking a shower or washing his clothes, and he started to smell bad. And I was just like, why am I still with this? Why would I stay with this person if he's going to not take care of himself? Because as people say, cleanliness is next to godliness. And I'm the kind of person that, yeah, I'm a little messy at times, but I love to clean up and spruce up and do my hair and dress up and go nice places and have fancy dinners and stuff. And how can I do that with somebody who won't wash their hair or brush their hair or wash their ass? And then I start getting asked for sex, and how can I have sex with somebody who smells bad? You know, who wants to have sex with somebody who smells bad? I don't think most people do. So there I was in a predicament, and I start fantasizing about Kay again, because I am to a point where I'm just like really sad and trying to think of anything that could get me out of this situation. So I start thinking about Kay again, and it all comes to a head in December of 2018 when Kay shows up at an open mic night that me and G are at. And I go up and I talk to Kay. And then, of course, he's scared of me. Kay thinks that I'm just this crazy, intimidating piece of crap. You know, I guess he should, because honestly, when you piss me off that bad, you probably should be afraid of me. But literally, I am like the least scary person in this entire world. I wouldn't do anything except talk. I run my mouth a little bit when somebody pisses me off. But, I mean, that's pretty much it. And I write songs, you know, call me Taylor Swift if you want. But anyway, G breaks up with me on the way home. And I cry a lot because he was my best friend, and I really hated to lose my best friend, but we could not be friends. Every time we broke up, we tried to be friends, and we'd always end up making out or something, you know, we'd always end up back together. And so I knew that we were gonna have to say goodbye. So I spend January very lonely, and I keep running into Kay again. And Kay texts me at one point, and I thought, well, maybe he wants to talk to me again. So I go and I see him play with one of the bands he plays with in January of 2019. And I went up and I talked to him, and I told him I wanted to talk about everything that happened with us. And he acted like he did too. He wanted to know if I broke up with G because of him, and I told him not really. I said, you know, it was one of those things where, yeah, you were involved in it, but like it was really because G wouldn't take a shower, and G was disrespecting me and my mom, and it just wasn't working out. I wasn't in love with G anymore. And so Kay broke my heart the next day again, because I'm an idiot, by texting me and saying that I embarrassed the crap out of him, that I said things I shouldn't have last night, and that people overheard us, and that he wants me to stay away from him and never speak to him again. And it literally, I had another panic attack, and it was bad this time. So another thing that I had to confront last year and this year was a surgery that I had to have, that if I hadn't have had it, I don't know, how do I say this? I don't know how I'm supposed to say this, because mom's like, stop talking about your personal information online. But then, like, I know that there's people out there that have these problems. I had some skin, I guess you could say, and a cyst in my, how do I say it? Like my birth canal, and it was one of those things that prevented me from having intercourse. And I was very open with both these guys about that. And I was in the process of getting it fixed because, like I said, I've always been behind in these kind of things. And I feel like it's something that we shouldn't be embarrassed to talk about, because it's real and people have this problem. And I'm just glad that it didn't end up being a tumor or anything. I've had friends recently that have had tumors in their uterus and their cervix and stuff, and that freaks me out. And my dad died from cancer, and I'm just happy that it ended up not being cancer. It was, I guess, a birth defect, and I got it fixed. I had to have 2 surgeries, one last year, well, one in 2018 and one in 2019. But it freaks me out that because of that, and because these 2 guys seemed to be so affected, at least one of them, well, Kay was very affected by it, like so much that he, when I saw him back in last January, that he looked at me and he said, both of my ex-girlfriends are crazy. And I said, does that mean that I am too? And he goes, well, and he looks down at my crotch and he goes, well, we all got things that need to be fixed now, don't we? And I was just like, that is the most god-awful thing that you could ever say to anybody right there. And I was just like, look, I got it fixed. Really? And I wish I would have walked out. I wish I would have had the confidence in myself to walk out. I am so stupid that I did not walk out at that point and not say anything else to the bastard. But I did, because I'm an idiot and because I wanted him to not hate me so bad, because he's influential in the music community up here. But guess what? I don't have to be part of this music community anymore if I don't want to, because I'm going to be going up to Nashville and starting a new life, and thank God that I am, because I don't want to be around these people anymore. But anyway, going forward now, it's been a year since all of this has happened. And on New Year's Eve, I ended up in a room with both of them and their new girlfriends. And as much as I want to say, I hope that they're happy, it's hard to say that when they treated you so poorly. You don't want them to be happy because they made you miserable. And I'm the kind of person that, I mean, if it would have been a mutual breakup of sorts that wasn't such a horrible thing, I would want them to be happy, I guess. But I'm the kind of person that I'm so down on myself that I don't want them to be happy, and it sucks. And I just hope that the girls that they are with now, either they don't treat them that way, or if they do, that their eyes will be open to it sooner than later, and that they will move on to somebody else, because what I have dealt with has been shit from these 2 guys. But hey, maybe they've matured, maybe they've moved on in a way that they're able to treat somebody right. I don't know. But I'm afraid that because of me and what I've experienced with my relationships and what I've experienced with, you know, my surgeries that I've had to have and everything, I just feel like it's going to be hard to find love again. I feel like right now that I need to be single, and I need to learn how to love myself, and I need to learn how to stand up for myself when these guys do crazy things. I think I did a pretty good job of it back in June. I had a crush on a guy back in like February to like June, and we talked for that whole time, and I thought that he might like me. But then I went and hung out with him, and he started talking about his sexually transmitted diseases and bragging about them like they were something that he thought was just a prize or something. And I just thought that is so, like, such a misogynist thing to say, and like such a gross thing to like be proud of, and be proud of bragging about all these dirty women that you're sleeping with. Like, he's just like, I was with this dirty woman, you know, like saying that and calling them dirty, first of all, is horrible. But then like being proud that you're with somebody that you thought was dirty, like, it just seems like horrible to me. And just to add the icing on the cake of my New Year's Eve, of being in that room with my exes and their girlfriends, I get a text from a guy who I became friends with after me, and let's call him Jay. Jay from June. They talked about his STDs. Jay from June got invited to this guy's party when I didn't show up, and they sat and must have mocked me all the whole time, or part of the time, or something, because they sent me a picture where they were playing a game together, and he put his name in the game as Lindsay Beth 69. And then when I said something about it online, he texted me and he said, I did not say that, the other guy's lying. I asked the other guy and he goes, I'm not lying. And I was like, you know what? I'm to the point where I don't need any of these people in my life anymore if all these people are going to treat me like this. K and G and both their girlfriends and Jay and whoever the heck he's getting an STD from this week, they can all stay out of my life, and all of their friends and anybody who is not on my side. I am over it at this point. I just want to put this out here that if I never find love again, I don't want people to judge me about it. And to all the people who have asked me out, I don't want you to be mad at me. I'm just not in the place right now. I'm not in the place, especially to the people who have kids that have asked me out. My ex-G, his new girlfriend has a kid, and I don't know how he's dealing with that because he can't even wash his ass. So I don't know how he's dealing with that if he can't even wash his ass. But I know that I cannot take care of a kid right now. I do not want a kid right now. I love kids to death, but I want to be in my best mental state and in a good place in my life when I decide to have a kid or take care of someone else's kid or whatever. I'm not even in a place to take care of an animal right now. I'm constantly on the go. I'm constantly going from home to Nashville, and I'm just trying to start a new life. My hope would be to start doing something with my music career, but then to also meet somebody who understands me mentally and understands me musically, and doesn't sit and just judge me constantly or tell me that I'm not allowed to do music for a living. I have to get a better job. I'm not allowed to move here. I'm not allowed to do this. My mom's a bitch. My whatever. I'm done with it. I'm done with the drama. 2020 is the year for me to officially move on from this town, move on from the drama, and to try to teach myself how to love myself again fully and accept me for all of my flaws. And I think that that's something that y'all should do too. But, I'm not here to tell y'all what to do because I can't even get myself to do what I tell myself to do. So I want to say thank you to Tana Mongeau for posting that video, because you inspired me to post this one. And to any of the friends out there that I lost in 2019 because I said too much about my life online, I am sorry, but I didn't mean to piss you off. But at the same time, you got to make mistakes to learn from them. And honestly, I don't regret any of my decisions because I just like to be open to people. I don't like to hide anything from people, and I really don't care. Like, the only thing that I keep very personal to myself is my body and who I am sexually. Like, I keep that to myself because I'm very protective with that part of myself, and I want to share that intimately with whoever I end up falling in love with one day that respects me for who I am and for my flaws. That is who will get to have me one day. And if that is awkward to talk about, I'm sorry. But like I said, we're starting off the new year being brutally honest, but in a way that's also confident. I'm tired of dealing with these boys who act like they are in high school and that they act like they run the world and that the women they have to be these trophy ladies who have no flaws and that will bow down at their feet and do whatever they want to, but then they're not allowed to do anything they want to do. No. But this is a message to all the people out there, ladies, men, whatever. Be strong in 2020. I'm going to try to start your life anew. If you're with the person you love, hold on to that person. Love them unconditionally. Respect them. And don't let them go. But if you have been in a terrible relationship recently or in one right now, take this as an opportunity to start your life anew and get on with it and try very hard to be strong and not let anybody get you down. But me saying that, that's probably not the best thing for me to say because, well, I can't even take my own advice. I can't even take my own advice. I still go and walk straight into drama. But we're going to try to get over it this year. So cheers to 2020. Have a shot of Fireball. This is Jack Daniel's Fire. Have a good shot of Jack Daniel's Fire. And be safe. Take care of yourselves. Take care of your mental health. If you have an anxiety disorder like I do, take care of it. And don't let it get to you. If someone's making fun of you, don't let it get the best of you, especially if you're in middle school or high school or whatever, and someone's making fun of you. I had a couple. There's a couple I sang at their wedding not too long ago. I think it was like 4 or 5 years ago. The woman's son was only 15, and he killed himself just a few weeks ago because he was being bullied. And I just don't want that to happen to anybody else. That is just such a shitty way to have to go because you're ashamed of yourself. And that just is so shitty. I was bullied in school too, and now apparently sometimes I still am. And I get it. I'm weird. I'm quirky. I express too much information. I used to joke about farts a lot and make stupid sex jokes because I thought it'd be funny because I knew that I wasn't sexually active. I thought it'd be funny if I made sex jokes, kind of like Shane Dawson used to do, you know, to like make up for the fact that he wasn't like as dirty as he talks like he is, you know. I used to do the same thing, and I still do sometimes, just to be funny, because I like a good joke every once and again. But like, even if you're weird, like I was, and I still am, don't let somebody tell you you can't be weird. Don't let somebody bully you into taking your own life. And don't let somebody try to take your confidence away. And especially as you get older and end up in these relationships with people, don't let a narcissist tell you who you can be. And don't let somebody who rolls around in trash get it on you, as my mom would say. She always told me I was rolling around in trash and I was getting it on me. I think she was pretty honest with that. So, like I said, cheers to 2020. I hope you have a wonderful year, and I hope you didn't find this too awkward. I will see y'all in the next one. Bye.